Yahoo, Prof here, and we're going to get you guys a quick video. It has been a hot minute, at least for me shooting the videos. Who knows for you guys? We're like 5 years behind on releasing them. So, let me get this chair out of the way. Hey, Paisley Marie. What are you doing there? How's Paisley? What are you up to? Alright. So, we're gonna flip you guys over and use this area. That's my Rose CD drive. Physically on the outside, great. Turns out on the inside, it's just some Hitachi slim drive from a laptop. Is that where you want to be? No. We're not going to flip you over. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend buying it. Of all of the, at least from my experience, of all the audiophile brands that make a like external disk drive, I think it's like the most thought out. A lot of them are literally just 5 1/4 inch drives in a box. I mean, this is a laptop drive in a box, but it's a well-designed box. Let's put it that way. And yeah, the one thing I did find out is it's USB 2 plug here, but it is a SATA to USB 3 adapter in there. And USB 2 is surprisingly important. That's all I really need for, like, even Blu-rays. Maybe not 4K Blu-rays, but if I recall, I even did like Blu-ray bandwidth, and that's even fine over USB 2. Like I said, the thing is it's not actually USB 2. That controller is USB 3 at least, because you can put it in a mode where you see the controller. Here. We talk about audiophile stuff because we're finally opening this. I've wanted to open this thing for quite some freaking time. I should have just done it a long time ago. Just do it! You know? You might know what that is based on what that is. So in here, this came off of AliExpress quite some time ago. FiiO. You might know them for their audiophile products, which this is. CP13, their tape deck. And yes, I know a bunch of you that are audiophiles. You'll be like, oh, but like it uses the same mechanism and it's not good and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but you can buy it brand new and you just buy it and it's going to work. I don't have to take it apart and do belts, maybe eventually. You know, and that's even the sort of thing where if you stock belts now for this, they're going to degrade by the time you need them. So, here's the hope that this is a product, because this is like one of the few, I think there's 2 or 3 new portable tape decks. This by far has the best like amp in it. I don't think it has a DAC. Might have a DAC too. I don't know why it would need a DAC, but it at a minimum has an amp. I don't know. It gets me confused because I have like this guy, the Moondrop CD player, which I haven't used all that much because of its form factor. FiiO seems to be making something, at least portability wise, that's going to be better. In that buttons are on top. It's got skip protection. I think it even has optical out, whereas this Moondrop one only has line out. Watch my review of this. Like I said, this thing feels far cheaper than it actually is, and you can tell that this mechanism is the same as like the previous CD player I got that I only use optical out for. That would have been available as with a battery in too. So now that's got some. It's definitely just take that same mechanism exactly how it's input in the cheaper one and like go with it. Like, it's better done there, but is it better done multiple X better? I don't know. Here's something I can show you guys, and I'm gonna give these a shot. I don't know, they may just end up at more. I may give them away to people. Are these Heart? They're from Walmart. Like utility blade knives. They're bigger than what I would normally rock, which is not over here at the moment. You know, Tuck XL, or in this case, Tuck HD. Right? They're bigger by far, but on sale, this pack was like $8 for both of these. And they do have they're probably better in a way than the Gerber exchangeable blade, because you can, if you hold it right, just pull the blade out, and it is very thin. So if you want to use like this as a like money clip, like the Gerber EAB is, you can, or just keep this on your belt. It's kind of like those cheaper like Gerber EAB knockoffs where the blade is not well retained, probably because it's just flat pieces of metal together. Who knows if they actually have enough accuracy to actually have good retention. But if you want something like this and you don't want to spend like the 80 to 120, if not more dollars, oh, hold on, my thumb's kind of messed up thanks to Paisley. Yeah, so we'll give it a shot here. I think just like a quick summary of this. If you're holding this, your thumb's here. Why is the button back here? And if you look, it's on this little slider right there. So they should just swap this extra space with the button, flip it around 180 degrees, and then the button would be right here, and then you'd slide it up. Instead of sliding up to halfway, you'd slide it up to the front. It's just kind of awkward the way it is. I'm sure it'll work though. So if you just need something small, this is a 2-pack for $8, so it's even cheaper than the Gerber. And I want to say that the ones I got off Amazon, that was like a pack of 6, those were like $20. This is definitely thinner and more portable than that. And at $8, I thought I would just pick it up. Maybe I'll leave one at work or something. Well, it's just flat metal screwed together. Nothing crazy, yeah. So yeah, this is the CP13, but something important, and this is why I bought it off AliExpress, because you can actually get the blue one, even on B&H Photo. Transparent. That was originally not available in the US, I think because I've taken so long to open this. The transparent one, they have now finally made available in the US. So you could get it now. But back when I ordered it, it was a China like store exclusive, like, you know, direct from FiiO. Apparently it's because of like rights to it or something. I bought this directly from the FiiO store on AliExpress. So I've done that with no, I haven't done that with topping. Kale. There's been a number of brands. A lot of times you guys are like, oh, I don't know if I should buy off AliExpress, blah blah. And I've bought stuff before and it has been delivered, but pay that little bit extra to get the coverage from them. And if it doesn't come like in the time that they say it will, they'll just give you your money back. And nowadays, AliExpress gives you your money back. Not, you don't have to wait for the seller. So here, buttons and ports labeled. Goes in the door. That's kind of classic. I had a Walkman Sport. That did not go in the door. It went, you'd snap it right on the thing, and you close the door on top of it. I believe this thing's fully mechanical, no electronic stuff. What I mean by that is no like electronic buttons, like you saw on like the Moondrop CD player, that sort of stuff. These are all ka-chunk buttons, which is apparently part of the reason why part of the reason with the noise. But this is the same mechanism. I'm thinking it's the same as the CD players, because that Moondrop does have a quote-unquote new CD mechanism, but I don't think Moondrop's the one that designed it. Because that cheap one I got off at, oh, this thing got some weight. Holy. What's in here? Probably some dumb cable. But I won't use. Yeah. World's cheapest USB A to C cable. Just so you can manage to charge it. Apparently needs 5-volt, 2 amp. We'll see if it works with PD. USB PD. Because that's what all my chargers are running. I have C to C. And this does have USB-C. Yeah, this has got some chonkiness to it, though. Alright, clear was definitely the correct way to go. Look at that. So good. Oh, it ships at max volume. Let's not do that. I've heard that the volume on this, like, they paired a very good amp with it, but, like, you're not going to use IEMs. That's for sure. Like, yeah, so apparently, like, the wow and flutter on this mechanism is not the best. Like, older stuff can easily be better. Ooh, so, okay, this makes it seem like this whole part's gonna come out, like this hole, whereas it's just actually the clear plastic front. Yeah. I'm not saying that this looks bad because they have the blue and the red. Looks fine. This is way better. Like, this is I'm not gonna say the only one they should have done. But there you go, portable cassette player. Do we have any juice in it? Yep. So apparently one way, I watched some Techmoan videos. One way to tell that this is this same mechanism is the fact that it's play, pause, back, forward, stop. And how it functions. I'm not like super into tape decks. What I wanted was something that I knew was of quality, like enough quality basically, that I could play these back and record them in to my computer, so I could listen to them. And you're like, oh, you should listen to tapes. Yeah, I might actually do that, but like, here's the big thing: most, if not all, of the tapes I have. I shouldn't say that actually. There's some newer ones from like Tsushima Mirai and Massive Fermenting Dregs, that they're doing their new albums, which are available on like digitally, high res, but then they'll also do physical releases in vinyl and cassette. So those I do in cassette, but otherwise the other cassettes, like if you notice, this is from 2001. Released in probably 2002. I don't have a date on here. I could see it once we get it open here. And this I just happened to because I'd bought this. I was looking for this on Mercari and found this. But while I was finding this, if you notice, that's is it record series? And then like where it's done, this is also from the same thing, except if you notice, this is 2021. That is 2001. Cool, really cool find. I paid more for this than I did this. This was also only a at live concert only live album that you could get. So that's why I had to buy it secondhand and get it forwarded. Now I don't have my M1STs, my Sony M1STs. They wouldn't have existed back then. What would have existed back then, though, is I'll say, if you don't know what this is, you should get yourself a pair. See how old these are? I really need to get a new headband for them. But these are MDR V6s. Sony MDR V6s, which is the US variant of the CD900 in Japan. I have, you can even see how messed up my cable is. I bought these because I wanted an older pair because they changed the coil at some point. I wanted the older coil. So I bought this should be one from 90, I believe. It's very hard. If you guys are wondering, if you want a pair that's like 90 and earlier, because that's pre-neodymium, so that's pre the 7506 release. You're gonna pay good money if somebody can actually like prove that they are. This pair is quite old. I think I bought these in high school. So let's just look at this turn down here. Pop this open. But yeah, if you're wondering why I'm grabbing these, is basically the CD900 ST is like the Japanese. Look at that. They have not changed their design probably on purpose in 20 years. Chest rack. EB001. See, this is CD005 and 6. And that means it's from, EB stands for 8 beater, which is their label. So going the right way? Yep. Oh, wow. Yeah. So, here's minimum. That's quite loud. It has been many a year since I've heard a tape. Yeah, this is like... Now these are 32 ohm. I think, maybe 40 ohm on the MDR V6s. But I always have these in the basement because they're like the go-to. Plug these in anything, you'll know their work. You know the sound that comes out of them. The classic Sony studio monitoring sound. Hopefully it has auto stop. Like, I haven't looked that much into, just because I wanted a new... the clear one is definitely the one to go to, though. Like, here. Just imagine that same cassette in here. Like I said, this thing feels built like a brick shithouse. For sure. Should we try the fast forward? Oh, we're getting started on track. Okay, let's do something here. This is what I mean by loud. That's not even halfway. There we go, we got 3/4. For me, maybe a quarter max is where I'd have this on here. Apparently the amplification circuit in here, some people found that the tuning of the actual tape mechanism in the FiiO was not as good as, I think there's like something like record my something, or I forget what the what that one is, but the amplifier in here is, well, FiiO knows how to make a good amplifier. Let's put it that way. So it's not like they're like, you know, they already have expertise in that. And I will say, this feels way, way better built than that Moondrop CD player. Like, ridiculously so. FiiO did just announce the, I don't know if it's not CP13, obviously, because that's this. There's a CD player. And if it's built anything like this, and the fact that it's got skip protection, it's got optical out, and it comes in, I think, $20 or $30 less than the Moondrop. I'll be interested to see. I'd put money on the fact that it probably uses the same mechanism as, yeah. So like, we're quiet there. Here, let me zoom you guys in. Okay, so here we're quiet. They were loud. They were really freaking loud. I may even be talking loud. And there's minimum. So this amp has some power. I'm guessing the output impedance is decently high though, which is why we're running into this. Not everything that's audiophile needs a 600 ohm output, or you better have a toggleable something if you're doing that. This thing is like got some chonk. Let's grab a little bit more power hungry pair of headphones here real quick. Now, for those wondering, here's how you put the MDR V6s away in their bag, in their sack. All right, you put the cable in first. Cable in first, and then these flip around, and these flip around, and there you go. You get a nice small. Oh, and yes, you're probably like, why does that have a gold connector when this is nickel? Well, it had a nickel one originally, but lent it to a buddy at a LAN party. Like I said, these things are super durable. He pulled it out, pulled the whole connector apart. So, yeah, it turns out the Shure, it's a pretty standard industry standard thing for those 6 1/4 or 6.3 mil to or 1/4 inch jack, 3.5 mil. There you go. There's your MDR V6 sack. So I don't treat them badly, but I don't treat them well. But every time I come and need them, if I ever need for troubleshooting a PC, monitoring a microphone, etc., they're here. They're ready to go. Some time ago, I invested in real leather ear cups on them. That is the one thing. Even if you buy a brand new pair, within a year or so, they're going to be shedding, and just replace them. I would recommend, like I did with my M1STs, get the Yaxi pads. There's even, I believe it's Galneris, their guitarist, and one other band. Like they even, like if running the Yaxi pads are so popular in Japan that they're stocked in music stores. And he's like, yes, I know it technically degrades the sound quality, and it does, but it makes them so much more comfortable. So here's something else that would be classic around this here. This is not a pair of DT770s. It's the new Pro X's, but they're a bit harder to drive than the MDR V6s. So let's here we go. And here, I said that these are standard. Not to bear dynamic, they aren't, because look at that. So don't lose this guy here. I don't know why they did that, why it couldn't be standard, but hey. Okay, these are even more sensitive, I think. They're clearer, that's for sure. Gotta remember, the V6s have quite a bit of wear on them. If you need a good pair of headphones, these These are really good. I prefer the classic design of the Bear here with the older headband, bigger plush, you know, like velour cups. They did update it with a little notch on your head for the crown of your head. Also, then when you hang it up, it doesn't put a dent in the pads. But for what these are, they're an amazing price. Oh, and here, Beyerdynamic learned how to make a removable cable. Now, some of you are like, oh, but it's only a 3-pin. Yep, so you don't have balanced audio, but you can get different lengths now. The only reason why these aren't more of a toss-around headphone for me is I'm much more used to the Sony studio sound than the Beyerdynamic one. The Bears have a bit of a sibilance on the original 770s and 990s, like that whole generation. Like their sound signature just has a bit of a sibilance to it, and with what I listen to, which is I do listen to a lot of jazz. I listen to a lot of ska. Cat, you cannot eat the cable. The kitten is eating. Okay, the one thing to note. Okay, like, and at least don't mind coily cables. A lot of people hate coily cables. For me, I'm never like 18 feet away from what I'm plugging into, but I don't work in a studio, and I can understand that if you did, especially like say if you're a vocalist or whatever, like you're gonna plug it into the microphone. The microphone is on a mic stand. You need enough cable to get from wherever the audio pack is, usually they're on the mic stand or on another stand close to the mic stand, to plug it in. So you're going to need more than 3 feet, you know. So I definitely understand that, especially for what these, like the only way you get these as well, by the way, these DT770 Pro X's, I think I got mine through Sweetwater. You could get them through Guitar Center, kind of like the Sonys. You can traditionally only get them through like music or audio stores, not like your or Amazon. Or if you do find them there, it's somebody reselling them for more money. Let's see. Okay, the kitten has been over here making a mess of things. So here we've got a pair of 7520s. These were supposed to be the US replacement for the 7506s. I don't have the reverse right now. What? Where's my big to little? I got my little to big. Alright, here's this shit. I got an aftermarket cable. I use like a 4 to 5 foot. Yeah, because that's usually where my DAC amp is. This is 1/4-inch jack. I don't know, because I'm not in my usual area. I say that and I've been down here over a year. I don't have a 1/4-inch to 3.5 mil down here right now. you know what? We'll use something we're probably actually more likely to use. And that is a pair of Pros. These are the latest ones that have this cable on them that you can kind of it disconnects here, and you can put like I have a USB-C. The thing is, I don't know if the DAC on there is very good quality. You can also get like a Bluetooth adapter for them that snaps on there, so like kind of wired, kind of not. And I do like myself a pair of Pros. Apparently, when I was a kid, these are what I used with my tape deck back in the day. So I've always had like a penchant to it without noticing it, or knowing. Like I said, I've also used or I've had a pair of MBR-V6s since I was a wee lad. Just because my dad's also into audio, and they were a good pair of headphones, and that came out in that era. You know, Pros are 80s. MDR-V6s, I think either late 80s or, well, no, 90 was the year when it transferred over to the new WD magnets. Yeah, so that would have been an 80s thing as well. So, let's see what we got volume-wise on here. Yeah, this has a lot of power. Here's a decent listening volume, at least here in the house where it's, you know, relatively quiet right now because we're pretty late at night. So if we go like, we're getting loud. Quite loud. And then remember that this isn't a 1/4-inch jack. This isn't a balanced jack. So like balanced, you know, you what's the thing? You get like double the power because it's going through both. Like, so in this case, like you don't need that out of the amp. Yeah, it's a little surprising. Let's see what happens when I. Okay, so it's gonna rewind. You can see how much I listen to. I'll have to listen to the rest during work. See if it auto stops. Oh, jeez. How close are we to... I will have to look up if it has auto stop because I really don't think it does. Yeah, because I just ran it into the clear tape there. Whew. Yeah, right there. Here, I'll pop this up. You can see right there. That is where the seam is. And when I caught it before, it was actually quite far into the clear. So, I'm definitely, I think every tape deck I've used regularly would have auto. Let's look this up. Auto stop, not stop start, but like rewind stop. It's not gonna automatically rewind for you, but at least won't like, yeah. We Are Rewind is the other comparative one. There's no auto stop. Yep. So yeah, be friggin' careful because, like I said, or maybe get it all the way and finish it off with your, your Ticonderoga pencil, or what's the more hipster pencil now? That one Japanese brand. Is it Japanese brand? But you can see how far I listened. Because it's definitely aligned or wound differently. Let's see here. Oh, jeez. Okay, I rewound back when I meant to rewind forward. Or fast forward. Because it's meant to be operated from the top. I never understood some of this. I think this is just due to the mechanism. I'm not saying it's backwards, but it feels backwards. There is a little bit of play in the, but the alignment pins fix that. Yeah, so play goes that way. Then that's rewind, that's fast forward. It's just weird because, like, I want to hold it like... I mean, I guess this might be how you're supposed to do it. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm not used to tape decks. But I do remember some people commenting about, like, the order of these being kind of awkward. The fast forward is not fast. I would say. The rewind is heckin' fast. Either way, like I said, build quality of this, as I have it in my hand more, it feels really, really good. Even if it doesn't have the best deck mechanism in here. Yeah, because it's kind of like the standard one that everybody has. Here, King Arthur's checking it out. Hey, King Artie. Hey, dude. What's up? Yeah, I think this with Porta Pros is like... kind of, like where I would actually be using it. Here's the thing, though. Right now, I'm even talking a bit loud. That is where the volume level is for comfortable listening for me. In a fairly not loud environment right now, because it's the middle of the night, 3 a.m., whatever. We just got King Artie here. But, this thing would amplify, like, holy jeez. So I unless you got it like an impedance adapter, like I used to have one because a lot of the early audiophile equipment that was like PC stuff that wasn't just like an audio interface, went 600 ohm because that was the hot shit, you know. And well, you just saw I have my MDR V6s. Those are like 32-ish ohms, depending. I don't remember exactly for the older one. It's hard to find specs on that. Other headphones I had around that same time, I'm trying to remember. But they're all right in that 32 ohm range. So basically, like a modern amp, or like my topping ones, will have high-low that you can set, right? Some very high-end ones had a physical switch that would, I mean, I think it just added a resistor in there. So you can make your own impedance adapter if you want. And that's basically by just adding ohm resistors in line with channels. Right? So you just put them literally in line with left and right channel. You make yourself a little... I have one over there that's broken right now. Male to female, and then in line. Some people hide the resistors in the actual connector. If you have a big enough connector, in this case, because these are 3.5, I don't know if you'll be able to do that. With the 1/4-inch ones, you can. So like back when I had my Asus Essence 1, I had that for a lot of my headphones because, or you had to keep it at a very low volume, or what you would do is you would, you couldn't put Windows at 100, but then your speaker volume wouldn't be correct because, you know, that's not getting amplified nearly as much. So the correct thing to do, the higher end Essence one that had that physical toggle on the back for IMs, basically. So that'd be like one improvement here is the output volume level on this thing is pretty dang loud. Here, let's see what happens when I grab laptop power charging cable. Goes to my Razer power charger, or my don't buy those; they're really expensive. Hey, look at that, charging right away. So they wired up the Type-C port correctly. It does give a little bit of stutter when it switches from internal to plug-in battery. It's a clean implementation. That's for sure. Here's another thing too, is I think rewinding tape, you may not actually have too much of an issue because you could just play through it, right? I don't know if it auto stops playing though either though. We'll have to see. I'll have to finish this tape tomorrow during work. Kind of a bummer that you can't, and it's because of the mechanism, that you can't have it right side up. You know, like if you do this, that the cassette can't be the, or you can have it like this. You know, they actually have it like that. So I don't know if you're supposed to hold it like this and it comes at the bottom. I think this feels more, maybe that comes from my Sport Walkman. Yeah, and you can use your finger up here for, I mean, like, this, apparently this is better than a lot of them because some of them have like a little tiny like slide wheel or like I say like buttons, but like at least with a knob you get a lot of customizability in the volume. So even though it's this touchy, you can actually do it. On another note, I also bought this guy because I know I'm not going to be using it that much. Like, well, why'd you buy it if you're not using it? Because we went over this. I want to listen to my exclusive cassettes, maybe rip them to the PC. That's about it. So what I bought was this case. I bought the black one. They didn't have a clear case. It's like a fake leather. Let's see here. I'm not getting this, I don't think. How does one use tape deck box if tape deck in box? Right? So I think this case is mostly useless. Okay, so we're hitting, maybe I'm inept here. We're hitting our volume slider, right? Also, say I get this in here. This has got to open that far. I gotta be missing something. I can't be this dumb. Oh, okay. So this is a magnetic flap. That's a flap. Okay, so it does go in like this. Then you go flippy flappy. And I guess if you're carrying it around and you don't want to get it scratched, it does that. There you go. See? And I guess if you're carrying it around too, you're not thinking back. Like, you just put in, like, you know, a new album would come out, you'd buy it, you'd throw it in here. You know, you go for your run, you take your trip on the bus, you know, and you just have that tape. You're not carrying around, it's called jewel cases. I think there's even still called jewel cases for tapes. Guys, it has been a long time since I had to worry about tapes. I was very much in the era of, and I was actually, you know, privileged to be in the era of where we had CDs. You know, like as in, like, CDs were available, but they weren't, like, super popular, and as a kid, I already had them. We did for cars and that sort of stuff, though, or for portability stuff, because Discmans were, like, remember I said I had a Walkman. What you would do is you would copy the CD and you make a mixtape to the cassette tape. But we're talking, I'm a wee lad, you know? I mean, it looks pretty decent like this. I'm not going to say it looks bad by any means. I do think, though, we unplug this. I think the Porta Pros are definitely, like, I don't know, let me know what headphones you would use. This thing does, I'll probably store it in this when I'm not using it. But otherwise, it is nice, magnetic. It is like a leather feel case, kind of like a. Have you ever felt like a moleskin notebook, sort of? It's a little bit softer than that. So imagine like fake leather feel on this sort of like cardboardy moleskin notebook outside. It's kind of what it feels like. I think this thing looks way cooler like this. That's why I bought it for the clear one. Also, like I said, you can take out the cassette way easier, etc. So, I'll probably listen to this tape. I have one from Your Song Is Good that's actually from them playing in like a little like coffee shop or something like that I've never heard. And I bought the tape obviously, but I've not, like, nobody's ever digitized it, I guess, at least that I'm aware of. I'm not in Japan, so who knows. Sometimes I rip CDs, they're not in databases, and yet they somehow have 3 AccuRip rips, and I'm like, who did that? Because the actual, like, track data isn't in anything, but yet it's in the database for the CD, like, ripping it. Very, very interesting. I mean, this thing sounds good to me. Apparently, like I said, apparently for this mechanism is like number 2 for using this mechanism. But then on the amp side, it's much better than other options. So, and I think this clear one looks really nice. A lot of the other options, if I recall looking at them too, you know, like this I can actually fit in my hand. A lot of the other ones are way bulkier. I will say too, like with this metal build, way nicer than the Moondrop CD player metal build. Similar metal, I want to say, but they managed to not have it be like cheesy. Yeah. So let me know down below. What would you do with it? What headphones would you run? Is there a specific tape you would listen to? You know, for me, like I said, it's this 2001 Number Girl. I got a Your Song Is Good. I got there's older exclusives from Japan for some of these bands I listen to are only on cassette. And that's kind of coming back to where they'll put out like singles on cassettes, and the album comes out digitally. And then you can only buy them at venues because that's where they make their money. They're trying to get people out to venues. Now, I don't live in Japan, so it makes things tricky. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't plan on keeping the box or anything. That cable, probably just give it away to somebody that needs a USB A to C cable. That's garbage. This thing, field-wise, nice. I guess if you're going to throw this in a bag with other stuff, or you're worried about knocking that, especially this clear one around, it's beautiful. Beautiful. This is a thing. I wish there was some way to, like, say you pop this, and, like, you could, if it was magneted on both sides, see magnet and magnet, you could at least slide it out, to open up the thing and change the cassette. Then you could just leave it in here, then mine might never leave. But being that, in order to change the cassette and everything, you have to take it out of here. What you'd do is you'd put your cassette in there for the beginning of the day, then put it in here, throw this in your bag, throw your headphones in your bag, and listen to it when you have time. So just different thought than what I was thinking it would be. Now, like I said, I'm not somebody, I haven't regularly used a cassette in 25 years probably, because like I said, I've had I don't know when was 30, yeah, that'd be like 10 roughly, I want to say. So yeah, probably, because I was starting around then. I mean, like, it's CD players, right? And I actually didn't have like an MP3 CD player ever. Like when stuff switched over to that, right? I went straight to MP3 player. I never had mini disc. I was really interested. I always liked Sony's products. So good. Love Sony's design of that era. I had their S2 Sport stuff. Mint. That's back when Sony had Sony stores too. Loved going to Chicago, I believe it was, and going through that. I just thought all their stuff it had aesthetic for sure, that era. And to be truthful, like, I was more pumped back then on the Sony store than the Apple store. And because I didn't realize, like, one was way whatever. Because the Apple store, the accessories were what interested me, not the, like, back then, not the, like, the Griffin had a volume knob that they still sell to this day that is not cheap. So you guys are like, oh, why do you always blah blah? Why do you not want a knob on your keyboard? Because I've always had some sort of volume knob. If my DAC amp hasn't had it, I had a physical one. It was really cool. You could reprogram it. So like, click was play, pause, push down, turn. That's next track, back track. Like, whereas volume knob itself is just whatever. If you hold it down, you could make it launch, either fully stop playing if you wanted, or launch your media player. All kinds of cool stuff like that. It was back with Windows XP. And I had that volume knob for a long time. If I recall, though, when my main system ended up transitioning over to Vista, they never updated those drivers. Now, of course, they still have the knob, and it was like a really short cable, so I had to use like an extension cable, because like the cable was like this long, because back then on Apple, you'd have the USB port on your keyboard, like on one side was the mouse, so you could plug other stuff on the other side, which in this case, they'd be like, oh yeah, plug your volume knob there. So, and I wasn't an Apple user, our house wasn't an Apple user, but school systems back then. Think about the Chromebook nowadays, that was Apple in the 90s. With the school systems. So, I don't know if that worked or not. Let me know down below in the comments. Your thoughts on tape deck. What would your pairing of headphones be? Mine were these Porta Pros. I'd probably go with the more classic ones, not the latest up to date that I put my... Yeah, for some reason here, the blues looks great. The red... Now, yes, the blue had rested on the red for a little bit, but like the rest of it is starting to go orange. So I might have to message Yaxie and see what's up there. But yes, I did buy a whole, because they're marked red for right, blue for left. I did buy like multiple colors of ear pads. Now I have a second set of these, so when these wear out, I just put the opposite pair on. But just to get this red and, especially because with the headphones being black, this red and blue vibe, yeah, it's a vibe for sure. I think they did ship something like that at some point, but the Yaxi pads are definitely, there's more. I never had a problem personally with the standard Porta Pro ear pads. A lot of people do. They think they're too thin. I do think the Yaxi pads are an improvement. I think they're actually probably like a decrease in sound quality once again, because they're adding thickness there, and the Porta Pros are basically meant to be smashed up against your ear. Comfort wise though, they're definitely higher up there. You can wear them for longer. Though I'm one of those people that can use on-ear headphones for like, not indefinitely, but for a long time without issue. Like a lot of the another one of my pair of headphones. My favorite pair is the Sennheiser HD25s, and those are only on ear. Kind of from that same era. I would consider those like a classic pair. Like a lot, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of the people nowadays that are reviewing headphones really should Dank Pods. He uses HD 600s, I believe, not even 650s, 600s. Those are a decent choice of if you want open back of the era, for reference. But like what do a lot of studios use? If you're Japan, CD900 ST, US is a lot of I've seen a lot of 770s and or 990s depending on where you're at. A lot of 770s, especially in live music. I know certain AKGs are super popular over in Europe and Australia. AKGs? Where's the thing audio technicals? I think AKGs. Koss, super popular. Especially low cost stuff for Koss. Less so nowadays. Of course, there's more headphones under there. Yeah. So here's the modern version of the Koss Pro 4S. I don't know if I tell you to buy the modern ones. The modern ones feel cheap and chintzy. Apparently the originals had like hydraulic ear cups, and you pushed here, it would push out there because there's like a fluid in here, like a gel fluid. I got like I know like the PR guy over Koss, so I ended up getting these. I did a video on them, and here you can see this. If you guys are wondering why this is on the back here, it's because if you're using this for anything musical or radio or whatever, you're gonna have that going over your back shoulder. So I just aimed it there, and then this is actually a mount. Koss never themselves made a microphone on there. I think Sennheiser might have. It's really hard to find data from back then because even just having headphones, the existence of headphones, especially stereo headphones, was such a new thing that there weren't really accessories to go with it. So in a lot of cases, they put the mount there, and other people had to like rig up their, like your live technician would kind of like rig up a mic that could go on there. Those are very uncomfortable. Apparently, they were a lot more comfortable if you have the original hydraulic gel pads on there. But apparently, by now, all of those are quite dead, quite bad. The build on that is way more, because I remember those from when I was a wee lad, and the build on those is way more chintzy, like way more plasticky. I don't think they're made the same way they once were. They did bring them back because they were actually like discontinued. But the sound is the same, like the speaker sound. And let me say, between those and then stuff within like 5, especially 10 years of those, whew, did we make some improvements in comfort and quality substantially. Like, I mean, I'd argue a lot of the 80s, 90s, still some of the best headphones out there. A lot of the stuff now is more, I think, so, like I said, I think with the M1ST, Sony finally was able to properly redesign the CD900 ST, and it is a better headphone. And they have their MV1 over there, which is their first open back, which is very small, shaped, like ear cups. And they go over your ears very nicely, but it's physically very small for an open back. Love those. Those are my R70Xs, second pair. I forgot what happened to the first pair. I ended up exchanging them though. So there have been improvements. Like, those are all very, very good pairs of headphones. But like, you gotta remember, with audio, if the headphone works or the microphone works and it's good quality, unless capacitors go out or you break the cable, or like, it's always going to be good quality. So that's how I've always gotten my studio monitor speakers as well. Almost all of my audio interfaces secondhand. Often you can pick them up for 50%, even when it's still like the current product, or it might be like 1 gen old. In some cases, you may even want a slightly older one because they don't always adopt the latest stuff right away. When it comes to like my Roland Edirol FA66 still will work. Still has all buttons and dials for every input physically on the device. None of it do you have to open a software control menu to switch between inputs, to mix inputs, to all on the device. And they were going to discontinue that with Windows 8, and enough people pushed back, and they actually ended up making drivers, and they even made Windows 10 drivers, which I don't know if they'll still work in Windows 11. We'll find out. I'm running out of... I may actually have to add to the repair PC over there a FireWire port, because that's my first PC over there that hasn't had one, because they're really low on motherboard. And apparently FireWire, like 1394, is now old enough that like it's on nothing. Like Sabertooth X58 was on there, X79 on their Deluxe, I think X79 Deluxe was on there. There's something else chilling in there for a while too. It had a header at least that I could add. I think the X79 had the header. X58 was native. You know, but we're still talking like that's 10-year-old PCs now, basically. Oh, bit of nostalgia trip there for you guys. Let me know. What do you think about the FiiO CP13? I think the amp's a little bit powerful. Maybe they should tone that down just a scoosh. I really didn't try any of my more, like we could have done the R70Xs. Those are like 150 ohm, I think, and seen what they did. Yeah, I think, like a pair of Porta Pros, definitely don't use IEMs. Like my Porta Pros that are over there, or I have like 5 pair of Porta Pros around here. Don't IEM those. I mean, it is sensitive enough. Like, you'll be able to get it down low enough, but like if you just nick it, blasting out those eardrums. So, hopefully we'll see in the next one, guys. We still got that package down there over there. It's related to that, for reference. So, and oh yeah, for those wondering, that was Paisley. I was playing with her bag, and well, my thumb got in the way. So, most of these are bolt pens over here. So I had to get the previous side click, which is the ice ball, out, because I can still actuate that. Whereas stuff like this bolt, I get into pain. Actually, this one, the modal's fine because of the direction. Like here's my, I think it's number 46. My numbered guy right here, the Nebula, number 46. I finally got my first numbered tactile turn pen. And doing this, it pain. All through, can't do a bolt right now. Luckily, the new tactile turn pens, for those that keep up on this, the new seasonal, but it's actually not new seasonal. Seasonals. Here's the Sprout, which is the previous one. I got it in Slim Bolt. I think that's the one that best fits it. You can kind of do that, but the side click was definitely a better way to go. They're side clicks, and they're only standard, so full thick side clicks. It's been a while since the seasonal has had that as the only option. I think that is their best pen, personally. It's the one I go to the most. But there's also two. There's basically a day and a night version. So get ready for that. And any other EDC stuff you want to know, let me know. Like those heart knife deals. See you in the next one. Peace.